This is a site that cost $5,000 to build versus this is a site that costs $15,000 to build. If you're building a new WordPress site, the first question that probably comes to mind is how much is this going to cost you? Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how our agency prices out website projects and how we determine our pricing. I'm Stephanie Parks of the Media Captain. Let's dive in. I'm not going to talk about the benefits of building a WordPress site. Let's assume that you've already made that decision. I will link below some articles about the benefits of WordPress for you, but let's assume that that decision's already made. You know you want a WordPress site, but you want to know how much you're going to pay for this. So right off the bat, I will tell you that our agency charges $150 an hour for development projects. We have a $5,000-ish minimum for all of our projects. If you're looking for a smaller project, if you don't have that kind of budget, it might be good to use a smaller development firm, not an agency or someone who's going to charge a little bit less for their projects. But our minimum for the Media Captain is $5,000. For us, most sites that we're building are taking about 35 hours, so this is kind of what our threshold is. When you work with the Media Captain, you're going to get a few people on your team that are going to be working with you. First, you're going to get a project manager. This is the person that's going to manage your entire website project from start to finish. They're going to make sure that everything's on time, everything's organized. They're going to work with you on changes and things like that. Next, you're going to get a designer. A designer in any development project is so important. They're going to make sure that your site looks exactly how you want it to look. They're going to create mock-ups for you so you can see the design, if you need new logos, if you need new branding. The whole look and feel of your site is coming from the designer, so this is a really important role within your website project. Finally, of course, you're going to have a developer on your project. This is the person who's going to take the designs from the mock-ups from the designer and bring them to life on your site. Just so you know, with our site, something that a lot of people ask us and a lot of people worry about is whether or not they have a certain number of changes that they can make for the site. The way that we structure our pricing is just based on hours. So we will charge you an amount of money, let's say $5,000, which will get you 35 hours of time. If you go over that time, we'll send you an additional package. A lot of times there are more functionality that's added. There's changes that are made. So we want you to end with a website that you're 100% thrilled about. We want you to be showing this off to everybody that you know and so proud of it. We want to make sure that you love your site. We do not restrict the number of changes for that reason. If you have 100 rounds of changes that you want to make, chances are we're going to go over on hours and we're going to have to sign you up for another package. But if that's how you want your site to look, then that's what we want to do for you. So that's one thing to consider when working with any development company is, do they require or do they allow only a certain number of changes and modifications to your site? We do not. So let's get into it. I'm going to start with a site that we developed for our client called Mojo Simple. They sell different sauces for Mexican cuisine. So you can see here they have a gourmet taco sauce. This site is on the simpler side. You can see if we go into their footer, they have about 8 to 10 different pages. This site does have e-commerce functionality, so if you go to their product page, you can buy this, you can add it to the cart, they have a checkout. That did increase the complexity slightly, but overall, this is going to be one of our minimum packages at $5,000, about 35 hours for this site. So anything pretty much under 15 pages, we're going to charge our minimum package of 35 hours at $150 an hour. Okay, let's move on. Another one of our clients is The Foundation. This is a nonprofit NIL collective for The Ohio State University. This is a site that we built, and again, this site does not have a ton of different pages. However, there was some customization. There was a lot of complexity on this site. So this may have been, with the number of pages that they have, this probably would be about a 50-hour project. However, they had a lot of requirements on their donations and what they wanted to do. So they wanted to offer one-time donations. They wanted to offer recurring donations. They also have certain packages for anybody who donates $75 and above on a recurring basis. So this is a project that probably started around 50 hours, but with all of the customization work that we did on this site and all of the changes that they had, this project moved to around 100 hours for this. So we can see here, this is probably where most of the functionality came in on these donations. The next site that I want to talk about is for the Media Captain, our agency. So this is our current site, and we did an entire redesign of our website. We're working on it currently. So this site, it doesn't look that complex. You can see we do have a lot of different pages. However, for our new redesign, what we're doing is we are completely redesigning our blog on our site. We have over 170 blogs. So if you're just bringing over information from a blog, that doesn't take a ton of time, but we are completely revamping what our blog looks like. So I will show you an example of this blog that we have on strategy for homepage SEO optimization. This is what it looks like on our current website. And then this is what it looks like on our new website. So you can see this is a total redesign. We have resized all the images. We've added in additional graphics. So every one of these blogs, we need to go in, we need to resize graphics, we need to create new graphics. So this has been a very time-consuming project. This has been over a 100-hour project at $150 an hour. So hopefully these three examples give you a really good idea of different complexity level of site at different hour markers and how long it would take us to build these different sites. If you're going into any interview with an agency, of course, you want to ask them for an estimate on how many hours it's going to take. You want to ask them if you get an unlimited amount of changes. We have a lot of clients who they think that they want certain colors or they think that they want a certain layout, and then they see the page and they want something a little bit different. That's completely fine. Just make sure that you're not restricted to how many changes that you can make. Also, make sure that plugins are being utilized and a theme is being utilized on your WordPress site. Again, those are things that will help with the number of hours on the site. I'm Stephanie Parks of the Media Captain. Hopefully this video was helpful in giving you some guidelines in how our pricing structure works, how long certain sites would take us, and how much we charge based on that hourly estimate.